All right. Welcome to the real world using interest. Okay. Uh, and this can be applied in a couple different ways. It can be used when you're spending money on credit. So if you get a loan for a car, a house, a boat, um, or just a credit card where you're paying off. It can also be when you put money into a bank and earn interest on the money that you put in. Okay, so here, great definition right here. Simple interest is the money paid or earned when you borrow or invest. Okay, three things you really need to look at. All right, the principal is the amount of money borrowed or invested. That's the amount of money in the beginning. All right, so if you're putting money into a bank in the beginning, that's the principal. If you are paying for a house, it's the beginning price before you start paying interest. The rate, this is the amount of interest you're going to be paying by rate. All right. And the amount of interest will depend on the amount of time that you take to pay it off. Okay. And that's the length of the loan or investment in years. Okay. So as you can see in the middle, the amount of interest is going to equal the principal times the rate times the time. All right. So here you have a 2021 Audi RS5. All right, $75,100. Woo. Okay. So our principal is going to be 75,100. Our rate is going to be 3.2%. All right. And remember, 3.2%, we can divide that by 100, or we can move the decimal place 2 to the left. 1, 2, put our decimal here, placeholder 0, so we'll have 0.032. And then multiply that by the amount of time, which is 7 years. Okay. I'm going to use my calculator because those numbers are big. Okay. So the amount of interest paid over the course of these 7 years is going to be $16,822.40. All right. On top of the principal. Okay, so uh, in order to figure out your total price, you can add those up. To get 91,922.40. Okay. And remember, the interest will be added upon the sales price or your initial investment if you're an investor. All right. So this Dodge Ram, our principal is going to be that. Our interest rate is there, and the amount of time is right there. All right. So interest equals 34,695 times, all right, 2.95%. Divide that by 100 or move the decimal place 2 to the left. We'll get 0.0295. And then multiply that by the amount of time, which is 6 years. I'm going to need my calculator for this one. 34659 times 0.0295 times 6 equals. All right, so we're going to get 6,141.015. Oh, looks like we're going to need a round. We only have 100 pennies in our money system, so we have to figure out if it's going to be 1 cent or 2 cents. Since 5 is 5 or larger, we're going to round that up. 6,141.02 in interest. Okay, and we can add that to our original value, 34,695, to figure out how much we pay in total for this car. So in total, And all we did was add the amount of interest plus our principal. All right. So here's on the other side of the coin, investing. So we'll have a principal, we'll have a rate of return, and we'll also have a time. So we invested $2,000 in a savings account that has an interest rate of 5% a year for a term of 3 years. All right. So our interest is equal to 2,000 times 5%. Move the decimal 1, 2, placeholder. Or you could divide by 100 if you like that. Term of 3 years. So we multiply that out. We'll see how much money we've made off of our investment. So we have a profit in our interest of $300. In order to figure out our total, we'll have to add that to our initial investment, which is our principal, which is $2,300.